This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Joining us today is James Campbell, the MD of Botswana Diamonds. Hi James, how are you doing?
I'm very, very good indeed, Mark, and how are you?
Very good, thank you, James. Thank you very much for joining us. You're joining me live from the mining Indaba, aren't you, in Africa? So what's it like? What's the vibe down there?
Well, Mark, yes. Normally the mining Indaba, or the Cape Town mining Indaba, is held in the last week of January, when it's very warm and the Northern Hemisphere friends and colleagues really enjoy the sun and the kind of outdoor lifestyle in a joy de vivre moment. Because of COVID, the Indaba has been postponed to what is now winter in Cape Town. So at the moment, it's kind of grey and murky, very British style weather outside, but it hasn't actually dampened the enthusiasm. The common phrase is, it's lovely to see you again. And it's because of that. I think this Indaba has just grown from the previous Indabas. And with the focus on ESG and battery metals and things, followed by people getting back together again, it's a good event. It really is a good event.
Yes, it's nice to be going back and meeting people again. I know that the UK Investor Show is on in about a week's time, and we are going to be there. I'm looking forward to meeting people. And I'll just get in very quickly. Stockbox 22 will get you a free ticket to that event. I'll just get that plug in there, but I'm looking forward to that myself. So I hear you've actually met with the President of Botswana and the Minister of Mines. So how's that gone?
Mark, it was a tremendous privilege to be invited by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Botswana, for a meeting along with his Minister of Mines, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Permanent Secretary in the Department of Mines. And he was most open, most engaging, clearly a very, very bright guy. And it was basically an open session where we could chat, we could ask questions, and he would answer off the cuff, and he did. Now, it wasn't something which he kind of delegated to his minister, or it wasn't kind of scripted beforehand, like so often is the case. And the two things I would like to pick up, particularly for this interview, was I asked him specifically about exploration funding in Botswana, unsurprisingly, because Botswana Diamonds is an explorer. And why I asked this is that next week, the Botswana Resource, Infrastructure and Energy Forum, I'm giving a talk on diamonds past, present and future. And if one looks at the future diamond resources of Botswana, it's going to be probably within your lifetime, maybe not mine, that diamonds actually run out in Botswana. So something's got to be done to stimulate diamond exploration. And as we know, most of that money comes from offshore. So we had a discussion about that. And he made it quite clear that he is a huge fan of innovation, and he sees exploration as being the same as innovation, which I think is a very accurate point from him. And they are looking at ways of incentivizing that within Botswana, turning it into a knowledge economy and boosting exploration. And I thought that was very, very refreshing to hear. And the one thing that I know about Botswana, having worked there for over 30 years, is when they say they're going to do something, they actually do it. And I know that many of us are quite skeptical about politicians in general, but I found it in Botswana, one doesn't need to be skeptical because they really do what they say. And then the second point, which he volunteered, as well as the Minister of Mines privately afterwards, was there anything more they could do to help us in terms of the acquisition of Ghaghoo mine? And I said, your department has been splendid. We received the Competition Authority approval. We received the Section 50 approval. The Director of Mines, who we dealt with, was most courteous. He always answered the telephone, always answered the email, and he met all of his own timelines. And I said, I can't ask for anything more, aside from, of course, if you've got a spare $4 million to actually acquire the mine, I couldn't ask for more. So, and it's rare that one can say that to a government official, that they really have gone the extra mile. And interestingly, I had a conversation with the CEO of the Botswana Chamber of Mines, the following day, yesterday morning. And he echoed the same thing. James, is there anything we can do as the chamber to actually help you? We want you guys to succeed. We want you guys to continue the great work that you are doing, and we are here to support you. And I thought that's just a fantastic example of servant leadership, which is, after all, what I think it should all be about.
Well, we do hear that Botswana is a great jurisdiction to do business in, particularly in mining and exploration. But this is another level, meeting with the President and the Minister of Mines and really wanting to help you. It's really positive to be working in that environment. You've mentioned there Ghaghoo, and of course, let's get an update on that because there has been an RNS this morning. Now, last time we were speaking, you were talking about extending the long stop date to enable negotiations to continue. But this has now lapsed. So where are we now with Ghaghoo and the funding arrangement?
Yes, Mark. This is the long stop date has been extended twice. The original long stop date was the end of January, and shortly before that, our original partners, VAST, said they were unable to fund the project. And we had sensed this would be the case, and we had started discussions with a number of different funding agencies. And GEM have been most generous in giving us 2 extensions to the long stop date. We're in very advanced discussions with 5 particular funders at the moment. But as you can imagine, the acquisition of a diamond mine in the middle of Botswana is not a trivial or a simple exercise. So many of these people do require more time to do their own due diligence. And in discussions with GEM, they've said, look, let's not give an additional long stop date. Let's re-engage on very similar agreements if you guys actually manage to conclude on the financing. And then I think that's very fair. And in the discussion with the Director of Mines, he also felt it was a much cleaner kind of arrangement, doing it that way rather than granting additional long stop dates.
Okay. So it's progressing. It's not a negative, but it's also it's not completed yet.
No, absolutely, Mark. And one of the things is, as we've discussed a moment ago, Botswana is a great mining destination. They've gone out of their way to actually help us with this. But funding for diamond exploration and mining projects is a challenging thing. I've been doing it now for 16, 17 years. The other day, I had to tot up how much the Botswana Diamond Board have raised, and the African Diamond Board, on exploration in South Africa and Botswana. And it's about 400 million rand that we've kind of raised, chiefly on the London market, to put into projects here. But it's a different level trying to acquire a diamond mine. But yes, as I said, we've got 5 funders. They're all very serious. They all understand that we can re-engage back with GEM again. And they're all comfortable with that. And we certainly hope we can actually conclude with one of them in the not too distant future.
Okay. Now, you also had news earlier in the month on Thorny River, where the ground geophysics have discovered the largest anomaly to date, consistent with a kimberlite pipe of 25 meters in diameter. So can you just put that into context for us, James, to begin with?
Absolutely, Mark. We had a twofold strategy at Thorny River. One was to actually do very detailed work on the river and river extension flow, and we've drilled that extensively, and we announced a mine plan on that about a month or so ago. In parallel to that, we did a very, very thorough historical data exercise, and we uncovered 5 targets which had been missed. There were holes possibly drilled in the wrong direction, geophysics which had only covered half the anomaly and things. So, and this was kind of very painstaking work. So we decided to pause on the river and river extension whilst we did this geophysics. And yes, exactly as you said, Mark, in your introduction, we discovered 5 very distinct gravity lows. And a gravity low is entirely coincidental with kimberlite, by the way. In this region, one of which was the largest we've actually got to date, which is 25 meters in diameter. So the plan is to go and drill these in the winter season, which is our dry season, which is round about June, July, August, because access is an awful lot easier. And then all being well, we can add that into the mine plan. And then we're looking at something like a hub and spoke mining model, where you have 2, 3, 4 different kimberlite blows and a centralized processing plant.
Okay, so drilling to start July, August, so very, very soon. It'll keep the London markets entertained over the what's generally a boring summer. How are you and the team feeling about drilling and, of course, this 25-meter anomaly that you found?
We're very, very excited about that. When we first started in this area, we realized that diamond exploration is like looking for a needle in the haystack, and you've got to be take it very painstaking. And you've got to be very mindful of raising money and shareholder dilution. And we're delighted. We're particularly delighted in discovering the largest anomaly. We didn't expect that. We expected maybe anomalies in the order of 10 to 15 meters in diameter. But to discover something 25 meters in diameter, which is only a couple of 100 meters away from the river blow itself, was enormously exciting and most encouraging for our board and our shareholders.
Okay, good. Well, in terms of news flow going forward then, James, of course, I guess we can expect to hear that the drills are turning, and then maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, results from that. What else can the market look forward to?
No, exactly. We'll announce that we're drilling, we'll share the results on the drilling, and then we'll share the updated results on the mine plan from that. And then, of course, talking about Ghaghoo, we'll be updating shareholders on Ghaghoo as our kind of discussions go with our financing partners. There's also other exploration activity in Botswana that we'll be reporting, hopefully in the not too distant future. And just for interest, if shareholders and viewers want to get a kind of a snapshot of diamonds past, present, and future in Botswana, I'll be publishing that presentation next week.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you very much, James Campbell, the MD of Botswana Diamonds, and I hope the rest of the mining Indaba goes well. I'm sure you'll be very tired by the end of it, but hopefully all worthwhile.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark. It's always lovely talking to you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.